Alright, in this video, I'll be linking the model from Revit Architecture to Revit Structure. So first, I like to open up an architecture template. Alright, before adding anything, I'll be placing a grid here. So, in order to avoid conflict, right, from Revit Architecture and Revit Structure, I'm renaming the grid labels right into. Alright, that's the first thing that you need to do, and also we'll be having some sort of levels here. So renaming this level 1, I'll be renaming this level 1 right into. Alright, far enough for now. Getting to level 1, I'll be placing up first walls here. Okay, drawing up something else. And also I'd like to rename this wall, rename right into Revit Architecture wall 1. Okay, that's cool. That's okay. Not carrying on material or anything else. First I'm drawing up the wall. Alright, wall is here. Maybe some partition walls. Same thing, if you like, you can duplicate and rename it. I'm not carrying on that. Alright, so that's it. Adding some sort of doors here. First, you need to understand that the doors placed in Revit Architecture will not be exported right into Revit Structure. I'll show you that. The doors are not required, as the openings will be valid right in Revit Structure. Okay, so I'm having a kind of a door here. Picking up floor, get into floor, and I'll be renaming the floor right into Revit Architecture floor 1. Right, okay. Well, the thickness is okay, 12 centimeter, and maybe I'd like to draw the asset by picking up the internal points. Alright, that's good for now. And also, I'll be copying this right into level 2. So, the floor is available right in level 1. Sorry, not here. Alright, having the floor right in level 1 and level 2. Next, I'd like to place some architecture columns right in this intersection. Alright, okay, that's it. Before doing anything else, I'd like to rename that into Revit Architecture column. This stuff is not mandatory. It's up to you to understand that this column is specifically made in Revit Architecture. Alright, that's okay. Finally, I like to get into manage, and I like to purge everything. Purging means deleted all those unwanted things, right? If we get into wall here, I'll be having a tons of wall here, as I have only used up this RSE wall 1. I don't want to see any wall other than RSE 1, so I just like to purge everything, purge unused. I can enable everything, so I have checked all. So there is a 350. There are 349 items that is going to purge. I don't know whether it happened or not. Yes, no. What is it? Purge unused. Check all. 42 items are there. Okay, if I get into wall, I don't know what's there. It's just these two walls are showing right in the stacked wall. That might be the reason why that's not deleted. We don't want to care about that. First, I like to save this file. Alright, next thing is I'm taking up the structure file, enabling structure template. By getting into Revit Structure, the first thing what we'll like to do here is right click on Revit link in the project browser and create a new link. We'll be linking up the architecture file right here. You can see that's the architecture file. The first site looks something like this, as you might see. What is this asset? We'll be having a perfect column right in Revit Architecture. Don't worry, get into 3D view. You might happen to see something like this, as this asset is basically a structure asset. So the first thing what we want to do here is get into discipline, and in discipline it's showing that everything is based on structure. So we need to have a coordination between Revit Architecture and Revit Structure. You can see asset like this here, okay? Don't worry about the columns. Get into level 2. I'll be turning right this into, well, a discipline will be right coordination. You can see up everything right here. Alright, next step, what we want to do here is we need to transfer all the architecture models, including the wall, column, floor, everything we have modeled in Revit Architecture into Revit Structure by getting into Collaborate. I can have a copy monitor and we will be selecting the link and picking up the architecture file here. Alright, the first thing, get into options and we will be converting everything which is the original type modeled in Revit Architecture right into Revit Structure. Alright, seeing the column head, you don't want to care that. These and all are the bubbles, which is not important for now. Get into columns, we have architecture column here. You might remember the name which I have provided to the column right in Revit Architecture. Right into the structure column, this could be like maybe a round section. Pick up the section whatever you like. I'm not carrying that. The same thing we have provided in Revit Architecture, so we just try to make us difference in columns here. So maybe a round section. Get into wall, you can have Revit Architecture wall 1 right into maybe a sort of 138 partition wall. And now that's not great. Yeah, this one. Get into floor. Okay, our AC floor 1 will be converted right into maybe kind of a domestic, I don't know. Alright, so let's see some of the options right here. Whether you want to consider the opening or the location line, these and all options are self-explanatory. You can understand all these things. That's okay for now, and hit OK. In order to copy this, we'll be using the copy options here and enable the multiple. And first, I'll be selecting up all the grid line, hold up the control button, and I'll be finishing the asset. And alright, they're saying that this warning can be ignored. They're saying that something has been renamed, okay? As we have provided the same type of label in Revit Architecture and Revit Structure by this option here. These are same, so they are saying that it's been renamed. Okay, thank you for renaming. Okay, the grids are okay for now. And also let's just copy everything. Enable the multiple option, everything, copied grid. Okay, you can do everything at once. Hit finish. Alright, now get into elevation. You can have a levels here, RAZ level and RAZ level 2. So just copy multiple, copy, then I'll like to finish it. So everything from Revit Architecture has been converted right into Revit Structure. Alright, so now let's try to place. You can see that the column, the rectangular column from Revit Architecture has been converted right into the round section in Revit Structure. Alright, get into some shaded view. I'll be picking up wall, but there is no reinforcement option right in here. So we can simply convert this into a reinforcement carrying wall by enabling the structure option right here. Okay, I don't want to see the analytical model. Now if you select it, I can have a ton of rebar options, which could be right here if we are drawing up the normal wall. Okay, see the same options here. Alright, that's all about walls here. Now trying to do the same thing in floor. Okay, this is domestic floor, and I turn it right into a structure and disable the analytical model. You can see that a ton of rebar options are right here. Column, there is nothing more to explain here, so you can have the column, which is the round section. If you want to change right into any other column, you can anytime come here and pick it up. The columns are also having the rebar option here. Alright, that's all about a basic conversion from a model from Revit Architecture to Revit Structure. Then what we would like to have is, alright, next is if you like to turn off the architecture model here. There is an architecture model here, and by in order to turn off the architecture model, I can get into visibility graphics. There's an option called this Revit links, and I can turn this off. Okay, so there is no architecture model right into this Revit Structure. Alright, that's the first thing. This option is visibility graphics, and you can turn off the model here. Okay, alright, That's the first thing. Next, I would like to save this file, Revit structure file. If I made a sort of modifications right in the architecture file, I open the architecture file and get into sort of elevation 4 meter. I turn this right into 3 meter. Okay, and I like to save the file here, file, and I like to save it. Alright, after saving this, the Revit structure might get a sort of notification that the instance of link needs a coordination review, as something from the Revit architecture file has changed in the Revit structure, and I need to coordinate what has been changed in Revit architecture. So just hit OK. Alright, let's understand what and all asset has been changed. We're getting into coordination review and select link here. Okay, we will be having 3 things to update, as I have changed the level. Walls and floor are hosted right into level 2, so the walls and floors we'll be controlling the elevations here, and also the level has been changed. Okay, so 3 things. What we want to do here is picking up the asset. I'll be dropping this down, and do you want to postpone it, or do you want to reject it and accept the difference, which all these 3 things do nothing? What we can do here is we can move the floor. Okay, everywhere, get into here, and I like to move up everything, move the level. I got a lot of walls here. Let's move the wall. Okay, do everything right in here. Alright, for these 2 walls here, the walls in internal part, I am not going to move this. I will accept the difference, and also I will maybe postpone. Okay, these things do nothing here. You can see that. I'll show you that. Hit OK. You can see this thing had done nothing here, and also you can see that there is a sort of opening right in here. I'll show you that. If I isolate the element, you can see that there won't be any sort of door here, as I have already told that doors will be excluded in Revit structure. Okay, that's cool. If you reset it, it will come back. So what we want to do here is, if I select the link once again, these options are still there, and I like to accept the difference. I like to move up everything. Okay, this been postponed, and also there's one more option right here. Reject will reject the change, and accept the differences. Okay, I have noticed that you have changed the wall height, and you can type an essay right here. Okay man, I have noticed you changed wall height, and let me you can anytime you type an essay what you want to convey that. Okay, alright, that's it. Also, let me simply get into visibility graphics, and I'll be hiding the structure file. Alright, that is it. Now you can see that I have some sort of elevation right from Revit architecture, but those elevations are not accessible right from Revit structure. In order to access or use the Revit architecture levels right from Revit architecture to Revit structure view, and I can have us just get into the structure plan. You can see the architecture levels are here, and you can hit OK, where you can see the architecture levels are right in here. This is how you will be using an architect based linked level right into Revit structure. Alright, we got to do one more thing. For the center wall, I'll be stop this monitoring. Okay, and that's it. Save the file. Opening the architecture file. Alright, for this wall I have stopped monitoring. Understand that this is the architecture file. If I turn this height on, and maybe I can make some opening right into this wall here. Right, okay, I've made a wall opening for these 2 walls here. The first wall is not being monitored. This wall is being monitored and the second wall is not being monitored. I'm trying to save the file and open the Revit structure file. I'll be showing up something like this. Okay, we have seen that before, and I can pick up the link. There's only one asset right here. We have edited two things, right? We have a higher wall here and an opening here, but in here we be only showing up only a single thing. As this wall has stopped monitoring, there won't be any sort of updates in this wall, but the updates will be there in this wall where we had where we have the wall is being monitored. Okay, so what is this? This is the architecture model. So we'll get into visibility graphics. We'll get into visibility graphics, and I can turn this off. As you can see that the file has been disappeared, but here the opening is still there. Okay, so well, that is the total methods available in Revit software to import an architecture file into a structure file.